Hello and welcome to Star Wars for Beginners. So you're probably getting really excited about this episode 7, or you're thinking, what's the big deal? Well, we've been waiting for this baby for 30 years. That's the big deal. But if you haven't been waiting for 30 years and you don't really know what's going on, let's roughly go through it. Let's start with what you probably already know or what you should know. Pay attention, this is important. The Force. This is really what Star Wars is all about. It's a spiritual power that's used by an elite few, but you have to train really hard to get it under control. Jedi versus Sith. Jedi are on the light side of the Force, they're good. Siths are on the dark side of the Force, they're bad. Galactic Empire versus Rebel Alliance. The Empire is an evil government whose leaders are on the dark side, so it's like the Panem of space. The Rebels want the Empire gone and they want a Galactic Republic. So they're pretty much like the Rebels led by Katniss Everdeen. So Leia is pretty much Katniss Everdeen, only more awesome. So here's the people you should know about. Luke Skywalker, a farmer boy who just so happens to be one of the greatest Jedi ever, but he's so whiny about it. Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's a Jedi Master who pretty much teaches Luke everything he knows, and he's also BFFs with Anakin Skywalker. We don't like him, but we'll talk about him later. Anakin Skywalker. Or like, Anakin Crywalker. Princess Leia. She's the one with the buttons. She's the leader of the Rebel Alliance, and she's totally in love with Han Solo, and she's also Luke's sister, which they hadn't decided yet in episode 4 when they made out, so relax. Han Solo. Han Solo is the best Star Wars character. He's like the Tyrion Lannister of Star Wars. He's an awesome pilot and smuggler, and he saves the galaxy like all the time, and he's awesome. He's pretty. Chewie. He's Han's co-pilot, and he's also a Wookiee of little words. He sounds like this. Yoda. Jedi Master, the little green one, kind of looks like a gremlin. He's badass. Don't mess with him. C-3PO. He's a tall golden droid. That means robot. He's really whiny, he knows a lot, and he kind of reminds people of Sheldon Cooper. R2-D2. He's also a droid, robot, and he sounds like this. Darth Vader. He's the big evil guy with the mask and the cape, and he sounds like Mufasa. So our story begins a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away with the first 3 episodes, 4, 5, and 6, also known as the good ones. They basically focus on Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, which is great because we love Han Solo. Darth Vader, the guy with the mask and the voice and the cape, he kidnaps Princess Leia. She's the leader of the rebellion. Right before she gets kidnapped, she puts plans of the Death Star, which is an evil weapon that can destroy an entire planet, into 2 droids, and they have to deliver a message to Obi-Wan Kenobi. The 2 droids land on Luke Skywalker's planet, which is also where Obi-Wan is, and Luke finds the droids, so he takes them to Obi-Wan. Then Obi-Wan and Luke hire Han Solo and Chewie to take them to planet Alderaan, which is where Leia's from. On the way, Obi-Wan casually tells Luke that he's got the Force within him. Meanwhile, the Empire destroys Leia's planet. The good news is they managed to free Leia. The bad news is Obi-Wan gets killed in the process. Han and Luke join the Rebel Alliance, and Luke destroys the Death Star. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. The Empire is not happy because obviously their Death Star has been destroyed. So they try to track down the Rebel Alliance, and they're hiding out on the frozen planet Hoth. Whiny Luke gets in trouble again, and as he's dying, he sees Obi-Wan in a vision, and Obi-Wan tells him to go and train with Jedi Master Yoda. Darth Vader finds out where they're hiding, and he destroys the entire planet Hoth. What a drama queen. Han and Leia escape from the planet Hoth to Cloud City, which is where Han's buddy Lando lives. Luke just up and leaves everyone to go training with Yoda, and then he leaves his training with Yoda because he has a vision that Han and Leia are in trouble. Lando is a traitor, and he hands over Han Solo to Darth Vader. What an Anyway, then all of a sudden he's good again, and he saves Leia and Chewie after Vader goes back on his promise and captures them. Vader freezes Han in carbonite. Luke throws a tantrum and he starts fighting Vader with her lightsabers, and it's awesome. And then Vader cuts off Luke's hand and he's like, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. And Luke's like, he told me enough, he told me you killed him. And then Darth Vader's like, no, I am your father. So when Luke finds out Darth Vader is his father, he can't believe it, and he doesn't want to believe it, and he's like, no! So he drops himself into space and he gets saved. Again. Then he joins Lando in the Rebel Alliance, and they give him a cyborg hand. Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Han Solo, who's still frozen in carbonite, he gets brought to one of the bad guys who doesn't like him. Can we just pause here for a second? Who doesn't like Han Solo? He's like the coolest character in the world. Anyway, the bad guy is Jabba the Hutt, the big fat gooey guy. Leia, who's totally in love with Han, tries to save him, but she gets herself captured in the process, and she's made into Jabba the Hutt's slave Ho, where she wears the bikini, you know, the one that 90% of the girls that go to Comic-Con wear, and some guys. Then Luke and Lando show up to save the day. After that kerfuffle, Luke returns to Yoda to finish his training, but Yoda's super old and so he dies. But before he dies, he tells Luke that to become a real Jedi, he needs to confront his father. Oh, and he also tells him that Leia is a sister. Meanwhile, the Empire has started construction on a second Death Star, which is fully functional, so the rebels need to destroy that Death Star again. But it's surrounded by an energy field, so first they have to go and destroy the energy field generator, which is on the moon Endor. That's where Ewoks live. Luke fights Vader again with the lightsabers, and another duel ensues, while the Emperor, who's even more evil than Vader, watches. So Luke gets really riled up, and he cuts off Vader's hand. Hey Vader, you started it! So Luke's really awesome in this fight, but then he turns whiny again because he thinks he couldn't control his anger and that makes him evil, so he spares Vader and he goes to the Emperor and he's all like, I'm a Jedi, like my father was before me. The Emperor gets so bored with this fight that he tries to kill Luke with his Dark Force lightning, while Vader stands around awkwardly for like 5 whole minutes. Seriously, how long does he stand there for? Eventually Vader steps in and he kills the Emperor to save his son, but he gets severely wounded in the process. And then they have a little moment and then he takes off his mask and it turns out it's just really old and gross. So Vader dies, classic Mufasa. The second Death Star is destroyed by Lando's team and everyone has a big party and is super happy. Except for Luke, because he's whiny because his daddy's dead. They all have a big celebration and they're joined by the spirits of Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Anakin Skywalker, the non-evil Darth Vader. Then there's about 3 movies worth of prequel in which Hayden Christensen just whines for a combined 7 hours.